Entrance of the capital city is getting a complete renovation along John Nolan Drive, a plan and project that has been in the works for decades. As WMTV's Phoebe Murray reports, Madison is one step closer to the vision.
A city-backed project on the horizon.
The lake shore is part of the entry sequence into the city.
Redeveloping 1.7 miles of the Lake Monona Waterfront.
This is our first opportunity to realize the goals of the master plan that was adopted in April.
A vision in the works since the 1900s, according to project manager Mike Sturm.
Where John Nolan developed a plan for Madison that proposed a significant public esplanade along this section of lakefront.
An ambitious redevelopment he calls a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
Construction on the Madison LakeWay is slated for 2027, with fishing piers, walking trails, and bike paths running along the length of John Nolan Drive. The project's first phase, called the Community Causeway, comes with a price tag of anywhere between $12 and $15 million.
People are really captivated by the vision.
These are the first schematic designs to be part of the future of Madison, with green infrastructure through all seasons. Madison LakeWay, formerly Friends of Nolan Waterfront, is the private funding arm of the project. Their team will begin a capital campaign to secure as much funding as possible to encourage future phases.
It's going to take a while and it's going to take a lot of money, and people understand that, and we do it a step at a time.
The latter half of Phase 1 is situated near Broome Street, a bike path that runs underneath John Nolan, creating a grand entrance to the proposed 17-acre park and expansion to the Monona Terrace.
This is a part of Madison that you're right downtown, you're right on the lake, and it's been such an underused asset.
Arnson adds a vital component of this project is preserving the lake shore.
Improving the health of the lake, aquatic habitat, better water quality, and again, emphasizing a lake dweller kind of reinforces that commitment.
Shaping the future of the city's waterfront. In Madison, Phoebe Murray, WMTV 15 News.
The reason for the construction date pushback is the John Nolan reconstruction project. According to city officials, they want the two massive projects to happen sequentially. So John Nolan reconstruction is scheduled to begin late 2025, the Community Causeway 2027. If you would like to contribute to funding for the Madison LakeWay, click on this story at WMTV15news.com.